As always, you know who we are going to talk about next. Let's talk about Gyökeres and Sesko, our striker situation. What's the latest on that? Let's talk about Gyökeres. So, according to Court Offside, Arsenal are planning to submit an opening bid for Viktor Gyökeres in the coming days, possibly worth in the region of 75 million euros to 80 million euros. I guess that is around 60 million pounds, around there. Gyökeres has been clear, 60 to 70 million pounds. Gyökeres has been clear that he wants to join Arsenal, and there have been already positive talks between the club and his agent. You know, I still can't believe Gyökeres wants to join Arsenal, man. I'd already signed him already. A player wants to join Arsenal because the moment I feel like Gyökeres wants to join Arsenal and Sesko doesn't really want to join Arsenal, then I don't think it's a no brain. It's a brain teaser there. You just go and you get Gyökeres. He wants to join you. Sesko, if he's asking for release clauses and all that and seeing Arsenal as a stepping stone, you just go and you get Gyökeres, who scored 100 goals in the past 2 seasons. Now, I mean, I'd even be willing to bet because I've still seen people saying, you know, Gyökeres is not going to score more than 10 goals. No, man, come on. The chances that we create, me and you can score those 10 goals. Those chances that we create every single game, we can even go to just one game against PSG. We had like 5-6 clear-cut chances. How many one-on-one chances has Havertz had? How many one-on-one chances has Martinelli had this past season? You know, so many. Like, if you give Gyökeres, he doesn't have to score 3 goals every single game. I'm not asking him to score 100 goals in 2 seasons. Last season, he had like 70 goal contributions or something. I said I need only half of that. You know, I'm being very nice. I only need half of that. You know, Gyökeres, you don't have to score 50 goals for Arsenal. I just want 25. That is enough. If you get us 25 goals, half of what you got in Portugal, that is very, very enough, you know? Assists. How many assists did he get? Was it 12 or 13? If you give us even half of that, I'll be very, very happy. That is all I'm asking for. So for the people who are saying that he's going to come and score 10 goals in the Premier League, I disagree, man. I don't think it would be that much of... he knows where the net is. I'm pretty sure the nets in Portugal are still the same net that they use in England, the same size goalpost and all that. I don't think it changes. So will he play against tougher defenders? Yes, but he'll also... Which games, you know, my problem is not even playing against Liverpool and playing against Man City. Those teams don't beat us. We have a very good defense, and we still do score goals against those teams, 2-3 goals every single season. We know what our problem is. Fulham at home, Everton at home, you know, West Ham at home, those kind of teams. That is why I need players like Gyökeres. Yes, of course, I'm going to want him to score against Man City and Liverpool and all that, but that will be a bonus. We want someone who's going to help us, you know, score goals in these small games that we struggle with, and I think Gyökeres is going to do that, you know. I don't think Gyökeres is going to go and struggle to score against Burnley completely and struggle to score against Everton completely and struggle to... Nah, he's going to get the chances. He's going to miss 1 or 2, no problem. But if you can give me 20 plus goals, 25 specifically, half of what you got in Portugal, I'm happy with that. But will he be joining Arsenal? How much is he worth? At the beginning of the transfer window, I said I would be happy to pay 80 million for Gyökeres. So it's actually crazy to me that we are debating 60s and 70s in terms of how much he would cost us. But the fact that he wants to join Arsenal, that is even a better pull. I didn't start wanting Gyökeres this season. I wanted Gyökeres last season. When we were doing polls about which one should we get between Isak and Gyökeres, I chose Gyökeres ahead of Isak. And going into last season, the kind of impact he had once again, if people have been saying he scored like 20 penalties, yeah, can I tell you how many penalties we missed last season? Sterling missed a penalty, Havertz missed a penalty in a penalty shootout, Odegaard missed a penalty, Saka? We missed a lot of penalties. I'm even forgetting them. Trossard missed a penalty in the Champions League. We missed a lot of penalties last season. So we do need someone to score the penalties for us as well. So it would help if we can get Gyökeres who can score the penalties. A striker who just wants to go score goals. A striker who, even if he has 3 goals, he wants to take the penalty because he wants a 4th goal. He's hungry to score goals. I don't think Arsenal we have players like that. I think at Arsenal, I don't think we have ruthless players at Arsenal. It's great to be a team player, no problem. I don't have a problem with Saka giving a penalty to Havertz giving a penalty to Odegaard, no problem. But at Arsenal, you know, if Saka has 2 goals and Odegaard hasn't scored for a month, you know, Saka is not going to want to score the hat-trick. He's going to give the ball to Odegaard. He's going to do that, no problem. But that kind of shows you that, yeah, he's happy to get an assist. He's happy to, you know, for his captain to be happy. No problem with that. No, I'm not saying it's a problem, but I'm saying if you can get a player like Gyökeres who has 3 goals and is like, no, Havertz, Odegaard, I don't care how long you haven't scored a goal. I want a 4th goal. I want to just keep scoring. I want to, put those numbers on the board to give myself more confidence. Just pass the ball to me. I'm going to score. I want that from Gyökeres. Come and do that for me at Arsenal. No problem. 65 million pounds. I'm happy to pay that, no problem. And wages, is it going to? I would even be happy to give him 230,000 per week. So if it's anything less than that, no problem. And 27 years of age, that is the prime of a footballer. 27 years. There's strikers. Someone who always makes a point in the comments. There's strikers who are getting paid way more. All the strikers who are getting more goals and they're getting paid higher. How old is Lewandowski? How old are players like that? Those are players that are way past 30 and they're still scoring a bunch of goals. Harry Kane, way past 30, still scoring goals. So Gyökeres, if you give him a 4-year contract right now, he's still going to score more, still going to score goals for the next 3 years, And I think he has the build. In terms of him and Sesko, I think both of them have the build for the Premier League. I don't think any of them is going to struggle with physicality in the Premier League. I don't think that is going to be the case. I think both of them are going to be okay. And those runs in behind, he maybe helps Odegaard, get more assists, more opportunities for Saka to put in the crosses and all that. I'm happy with that. And if he wants to join Arsenal, yes, please. Positive talks between the club and his agent. Let's see how it goes with Gyökeres. Very, very happy to, if you can sign him, I'd be over the moon, man. If you can get me Gyökeres, I'd be over the moon, man. But if it's not Gyökeres, we know who it's going to be. Hopefully it's one of the two. Hopefully there's no third option. There is, but hopefully don't end up there. What's the latest on Benjamin Sesko? Now, according to reports from Miguel Delaney, there's still a 10 million euro gap. That's not too much. That's like 7 million pounds between Arsenal and RB Leipzig on Benjamin Sesko. That has nevertheless developed into a game of chicken. It's only Arsenal transfers that you usually hear things like this. Game of chicken. Arsenal are playing chess in the transfer window. We are playing Monopoly in the transfer window. Andrea Bata is playing checkers with Lookman. It's only Arsenal where you hear these things. But hey, hopefully we do win that game of chicken. Don't move. As the two clubs seek to get the best possible deal, or maybe we might have to act as the chicken this time around and get the player. If you just have to act like the chicken this time to get the player. Arsenal have been seeking to do a deal in installments. That currently comes to around 70 million euros. So it's still around the same price for both Gyökeres and Sesko. For both of them, we are talking between 60 to 75. Maybe Arsenal willing to pay 16 installments, but the teams Sporting and Leipzig want 70, 75. Maybe they don't even want the installments. They want the money up front. I still feel like Leipzig and Sporting are also kind of waiting to see if any other team comes in for these players, to have a battle for their players, something like that, or maybe to get more money. Because hey, if I was the Leipzig owner, I would also want 70 million for Sesko. If I was the Sporting owner, 100 goals in 2 seasons, I'll be telling you, even if he was 50 years of age, I would want you to pay 80, 90 million. I don't care if he's 70 years, 80 years of age, he can score 100 goals in 2 seasons, come and pay the money. So let's wait and see what happens with the Gyökeres and Sesko. £7 million pound gap between the valuation for Arsenal and Leipzig. I still think there's a possibility you can sign Gyökeres. If Leipzig refuse to reduce the money, I think Arsenal will go for Gyökeres. But if Leipzig accept or agree to reduce the money and agree for the money to be paid in installments over the next 1 week, 2 weeks, then I think Arsenal are going to go for Sesko. I think Arsenal have wanted Sesko. I do think there's maybe 50% of the board and the management that want Gyökeres and 50% that want Sesko. So it's divided. Although we were told that I think around 67% of the Arsenal team management and the board want Sesko, they prefer Sesko. But some people feel like Gyökeres is too expensive for his age. But now it clearly feels like some people also think that Sesko's money is too much as well. So let's see how this one goes. I don't think it's going to be a decision that is going to be made over the next 1 day. I still think tomorrow, the next day, next week, are still going to be talking about this. So let's hope that we make a decision as soon as possible.